Hello guys, welcome to the video. Today is Monday, February 10th. This will be out tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe, or like if you like the video, and subscribe if you want to come back for more, because I will be dropping more tomorrow, the day after that, and the day after that, and on hopefully forever, or for as long as I possibly can. But anyways, let's huddle up and get right into this. So today, I'm going to be talking about week 1 of the XFL. It was interesting. I declared myself as a New York Guardians fan yesterday, and as a New York Guardians fan, I'm happy and I'm disappointed. I was part of wanting to become a fan before the team started was the idea that if I became a fan before the team started, I might become a fan of a bad team. And considering the fact that I am a Patriots fan, more football fan first of all, but if there's a team I root for, it's the Patriots, and that's 99% due to me being a fan of Tom Brady and his career and his journey to stardom. But being a Patriots fan, it's I don't want to sound overly privileged in having a good team that wins, but I'm not gonna lie to you, it's hard because I want to have the experience of having a bad team. And I said this on Saturday, and I'll say it again. It's not that I dislike winning. It's that I feel that I would have a much better understanding of the experiences other fans have, and I'd have a much better sympathy for them if I became a fan, or if the Patriots just fell off and became terrible for 10 years, 20 years. I would have that experience, and I would realize just how lucky I am to be a Patriots fan, to grow up in the New England area at the time that I did. And yeah, I'm very, very lucky for that. And I think that I do need to be a little more appreciative of that. But as a New York Guardians fan, I'm happy that we won. I just don't want to be called a bandwagon if they keep winning. There's proof. I said it Saturday. I didn't say it before they won. There's proof. And it was only one game, and they didn't play amazing. They played good. But it was a lot of mistakes by the Vipers that led to the Guardians to win. I'm going to talk about that now. So the Guardians quarterback was good for a first start. He went 15 for 29, 182 yards and a touchdown, and 82.8 passer rating. Nothing special, nothing amazing. It was a solid game for a starter. It's the first game in the league. You don't expect him to pop off, but you also don't expect him to completely, just do terrible. And I liked that. And as they keep playing, expect him to get better, because first game jitters, obviously. But along with that, also the receivers and him also need to build that chemistry. They've never played a real football game together. Line, just every part of the team is still settling in these first few weeks of the league itself. And if anything struggled with the Guardians yesterday, it was the run game. It was there in moments, but overall, their running back Victor had 9 attempts for 32 yards, no touchdowns. McGloin scrambled 3 times for 2 yards and a touchdown, and Cook had 4 attempts for 10 yards. So in totality, they had just over 40 rushing yards, 44 to be exact. So nothing to write home about, but again, in comparison to the passing game, they had 180 passing yards. That's only around 220 offensive yards total. They still put up 23 points. So they played decently, but their offense was nothing to write home about. What was to write home about was their defense. Now, defensively, the Guardians were great at shutting down long and short drives. There was a long drive where the Vipers got all the way down into the red zone, and the Guardians got an interception in the end zone to end the drive. And also they got a lot of 3-and-outs. They got a lot of maybe 1 first down and then forced them to punt. But on the other end of the ball, the Guardians also had a lot of drives where they either went 3-and-out, or they even had a drive where they threw, I think it was 3 incompletions. And at the same time, it's easy. It could possibly be the thing where it's like the Guardians' defense isn't that good. It was just that the Vipers' quarterback was really bad. It's a trade-off. It's hard to tell sometimes this early on. But yeah, either way, the Guardians defense capitalized on the opportunities they were given, and the Guardians scored 2 of their touchdowns off of turnovers, and only one of their touchdowns was a long 93-yard drive. I like to see that. I like to see a long, constructive drive, but I'd like to see more of them because the Guardians did not have a lot of offensive yards. I would like to see more offensive yards from them. I'd like to see them come up with some more longer drives just to solidify the fact that they can have long, sustained drives because they only really had one that resulted in a touchdown. As they settled in, the last touchdown drive by the Guardians was great. I love seeing that. I love that long drive. Took up some time off the clock, and they had a touchdown to kind of ice the game. And the Vipers quarterback struggled big time. And he seemed rattled at random points in the game, like not even in high-pressure situations. He had stretches of greatness where it looked like, hey, he's a solid quarterback. He's a solid starter. He might even be a good NFL player someday if he continues like this. And then all of a sudden he'd throw 2 bad throws and a pick. And you'd be like, where'd that come from? You were just throwing great. I think he was just rattled at random points of the day. But anyways, moving on from just the Guardians game into the XFL weekend in general. Quarterback play was good. It wasn't great, but it was good, meaning that the quarterbacks, they didn't completely, they didn't play terrible. It wasn't like the first week of the league, everyone was discombobulated and nobody could complete a pass. The quarterbacks, they made plays, they made throws, they made trick plays, and it was fun to watch. It was fun to see offensive scoring out there rather than just a bunch of, 10-7 games because the offenses are too discombobulated to score. It was fun to see the quarterbacks playing good football. I was worried about offensive production in the beginning because I was worried, these new players, they've never played with each other and they're expected to go out on a field and put up points. But they did. They put up points, and that was really fun to watch from a fan perspective to see, hey, this isn't just going to be bad quarterback football. They have some good, solid starting quarterbacks for that league, and I want to see them continue to evolve and become better throughout the remainder of the season. Another thing about the weekend was that there were some close games, which is good, and the comeback possibility kept me watching, which was great for ratings, I'm sure, because even down 17-7, I say more like 16-7 or 17-8. It's it's not a 2-possession game. They can still come back and tie it up. Just that 9-point score possibility keeps it, as a possibility. You're down 18 points, you can still come back and tie it up in 2 drives. And just that chance of it makes it a lot more fun to watch. Because this game isn't over. And not only that, but another rule I wasn't even aware of until the announcers talked about it was that during the 2-minute drills of each half, each team, every play, the clock stops. It doesn't matter if it's a run play inbounds, out of bounds, incompletion, completion inbounds, out of bounds. No matter what it is, the clock will stop within 2 minutes. And once the team is set and ready to go for their next play, meaning they will have the full play clock to figure out a play, they don't have to rush it, 5 seconds will come off. And I like this because it says that, if your pass game isn't great, you can still make a comeback with the run game if your run game is really strong, because that clock stops. You're losing about the same amount of time, whether it's a pass play or a run play, no matter what you do, which I personally really like that because it means that teams don't just have to go full-on air raid in order to climb back into a game. It means that teams can continue doing what they do well to win games, even if they fall behind. And I love that idea, and as much as we didn't really need to see it over the weekend, it was fun to think about the possibilities of that in some bigger games. But yeah, the new extra point system, that was interesting because of the comeback, but also kickoffs. From a fan perspective, it's kind of hard to find kickoffs interesting because you can't really see what the possibility is for them to return it. A comparison I like to make is with Madden. It's the NFL football game on video games, and it has this camera angle from about maybe 5 feet diagonally behind the kick returner so that you can see the field. You can see the possibility that you are going to get a kick return touchdown. You can see what's deep. You can see what's left. You can see what's right. And in the NFL, on a kick return, the fan is kind of just left there like, well, I can't really see more than 10 yards in front of him from this side angle, which means that they can't really find it as exciting because it's more like just sitting there like, he rarely returns it. I think this is the time for me to be on my phone. But kickoffs in the XFL, the thing is the fan can see all the blocking that's going on. I think that might have been one of the big points of it, because when the fan can see all the blocking that's going on, they can see, oh my God, there's a big hole right there. If you go down that hole, we could score a touchdown. And it brings a lot more excitement to the kickoff, I noticed. I mean, even just on the simpler ones, it was like if he just gets past that line, it could be a touchdown right away. And there was a big return in the Guardians game too, and that was interesting. I got to see a big return. And I love that rule, and I'd love to see it turn into some kick return touchdowns, because that it also could lead to big comebacks. But yeah, there were also some big receiver plays. There was a highlight play where a receiver caught the ball one-handed and got hit, like humongous hit, and just took it like a champ and caught the ball. And I think, and trick plays kind of just shows that these teams are here to play. You know, they're not nervous. They're like, okay, we're going to show up, we're going to play some good football, and we're here to win. And I think that's a big thing you need for this league to be successful, is you need the teams to want to win. I know teams want to win, but you also need them to have that heart to actually care a lot about this league. And I feel like the attitude we got from the players was that they do care about this league. They do want to win big time. And I loved seeing that, and I think that will greatly benefit them going into the future. But yeah, the games were interesting to watch. They weren't astounding games. You know, it wasn't like 30-33 with a minute left, and a quarterback has to go down the field and score. It wasn't that astounding, but it was just interesting to watch because there was good football going on. You know, it wasn't like a college football game with two low-level schools where both quarterbacks can't seem to throw an accurate ball to save their life. No, it was good, fun football. And it was for the love of football, like they say so often. And it was fun to watch. And week 2 should aim for small improvements, especially in tech. One little annoyance I had with week 1, with all the positives, one negative was the tech. There were a lot of moments where, you know, the tech was a little off, and they were like, oh, we need to get this fixed. Like, oh, Jerry, thankfully we have this fixed. Now we can listen to the refs. You know, the ref microphone isn't working, the coach isn't working, whatever. And I think that's, again, a thing with experimenting with this new type of way of doing things. And they did it in the last XFL, but that was so many years ago. I mean, you're kind of doing it with new technology, different technology, so they're testing things out, and you kind of got to expect those little technical difficulties as they figure themselves out. But either way, I think week 1 was a big success for the XFL, and I cannot wait for week 2. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll check back in with you tomorrow. Thank you.